for yielding me this time. Madam Speaker, I rise today to speak about one of the most important issues in our world, and that is peace in the Middle East. For far too many years, many parts of the United Nations have been hijacked by states opposed to the ongoing existence of the State of Israel. Some states simply refuse or are not willing to acknowledge that Israel is a country surrounded by many who seek her destruction. They seem to believe that if the Israelis simply conceded, simply gave up, that peace would come to the region. That view doesn't only show a lack of understanding, it is simply wrong. The truth is, no country in the world would ever take action that undermines its ability to defend itself, and neither should the State of Israel. Day in and day out, the people of Israel face the threat of terrorism. From the moment that they wake up in the morning to when they go to sleep at night, Israeli citizens wonder if they or their families will be the target of attacks. Dozens of suicide bombings and attacks have been carried out over the past 10 years, and there is no doubt that each and every day Hamas is planning and preparing for even more attacks. Madam Speaker, we need peace in the Middle East, but these are not the conditions for peace. How can anyone make peace when enemies are seeking their destruction? And now we see this move at the United Nations to secure unilateral declaration of statehood. Instead of finally achieving the peace that is so desperately needed, so desperately wanted, this looks like a step to try to back Israel into a corner. Let me assure you, this is not the path to positive change. It is a grave error by Abu Mazen to demand recognition of statehood at this time. The fact is, the day after any vote, the situation on the ground in the Middle East will not have changed. All the same issues will remain in place. The difference will be the trust. Trust will forever be eroded, and for good reason. That's not the only difference, however. There's another issue that I believe we need to have more discussion about. I believe that what the Palestinian Authority is doing calls into question our funding for their work. The United States supported the authority as a way to support peace efforts, but this statehood drive undermines those very efforts. American dollars are meant to support efforts by the Palestinian Authority to secure peace and to diminish violence. But this is not a blank check. We cannot support those who seek confrontation instead of reconciliation. I believe it is time for a very, very serious of our policy, the United States Congress and the United States policy in its funding, not only for the Palestinian Authority, but for any nation that seeks to undermine the State of Israel within the UN. Not just the Palestinian Authority, but any nation that would vote to undermine the existence of the State of Israel. I want to thank Mr. Deutsch and, again, Mr. Hoyer, all my colleagues, for putting this effort together tonight. I and my colleagues will continue to stand firmly with the people of Israel, and I yield back the balance of my time.